We're lucky to have in our possession something called a process print, which is very, very rare. You can imagine if you wanted to make, let's say, 200 copies of Jade, and you had 22 blocks, and you had to make 47 impressions of those 22 blocks, you'd have to have some way of keeping track of which blocks were printed first and which blocks were printed second. Well, the way they did that was every time they pulled a block, they ran a separate sheet of paper through and made it part of a process set. So the first block that's printed would be the first page of the process set. The second block was printed would be the second page of the process set. The third block that was printed would be the third piece of the process set, and so on. So what this is the printer's record of the order in which the blocks were printed, and in addition, the colors that were used and to some extent, the pressure that was used, applied to get those colors to look the way they did. And for Jade, they made 4 of these process sets. Now, why did they make 4? We don't know. Because theoretically, if you were making this just for the printers, you would only need 1. Or at the most 2 if you were concerned about losing one, something like that, maybe 1 for safekeeping. But the process set plainly says that 4 were made, and this is number 1, set number 1 out of the 4. So let's take a look and see what the process set is like. First of all, I want you to notice the fine folder we've made for this thing. It befits its status. And oh, here's something else that we did. We took all the process prints and we made a book out of them. So this is the book. And if you flip through the book, see, there's one of the prints. You flip through, you can trace the progression of the colors. See, now we have some yellow added to the print. Flip a few more pages and we have the green. We know that was printed next. A few more pages, we have the purple and the lavender and some of the red lips. A few more pages, we have the coat being printed, at least the first layer of the coat, because it gets more layers after that. Things are getting more developed until finally we come to the end and we have the final print there, which, as you can see, is a 2nd edition print. 2nd edition color scheme, I believe. So let's take a look at what we have here. This is what's called the key block. This is the block outline that's laid down first in the course of printing.
Beautiful.
Let's go a few more copies down. And there we have some of the green and some of the yellow being applied. Let's go a few more copies down. See a little further development there. So I believe there are 47 sheets in this process set, which meant that this had to go 47 times through the press in order for it to be finished. Some more development. You can see a second layer has been added to the lips. Now there are 2 colors on the lips. Now this is an important block. You get the pink in the cheeks and the hands. This is a very fugitive color. It's a color that fades easily if it's exposed to sunlight. So it's very important to keep a print like this out of the sun. Let's look at that one. Now we have the gray undercloak being printed, and there's going to be an overprinting, several times overprinted, in order to get the end black cloak. There we see it with the background printed. You know, I'm going to correct myself and say that this is a first edition print.
Mm-hmm.
It more closely resembles the first edition than the second.
Yeah, it's more muted. At least currently.
Let's just look at a few more in developing. You notice that some of the paper isn't printed down here by the hands. That doesn't appear to be printed at all. It just leaves the natural color of the paper showing through. And let's take a look at the final product. Maybe one more in between the states. There we're getting some of the overprinting in the hat. Until finally the last block is printed and the coat comes out black. Focus in here. This is the 58th sheet, that's 58, out of a series of 4, and this is number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we know what we know. That's Jacoulet's signature. So this is a signed process set. If it were just a process set for the printers, I don't know why all of these would be signed. This is the carver. This is the printer. I don't know if you can see Jacoulet's specially watermarked paper there, but there's the watermark in both kanji and Arabic script. The title of the print, Le Jade, China.
Dad, I noticed all the prints have this unique
Kento mark.
shape
Yes.
here.
Well, that has something to do with the registration. It's called a Kento, K-E-N-T-O mark,
I'll show it here
and
as
it's
well.
used for obtaining the registration. But I've seen woodblock printing performed many times, and there's nothing about the print or nothing about any way I can explain the process that explains how they can possibly register these colors so accurately. All registration means is that the colors are all within the lines and nothing bleeds over. And you can show me Kento marks till the cows come home. I still can't figure out how they did it.